Yo, what's happening everybody? King GBL here and welcome back to a brand new Combat League video. Today we're going to be showcasing some really fun battles here with Shadow Blaziken. Shadow Blaziken just does a crazy amount of damage with the counters, Brave Birds, and of course the Blaze Kicks. Now you can run several different movesets on this thing. The PV Poke recommended moveset is Stone Edge and Blaze Kick I believe. It's actually a little bit better to run Brave Bird. If you have a look at the matchups, you actually win more matches using Brave Bird than Stone Edge. Of course, Stone Edge will help you out against like Noctiles and all that sort of stuff, but to be honest with you, you're going to get farmed down so quickly that it's not really going to make a difference, and having Brave Bird just puts out insane damage. And of course you have Blaze Kick for all of the seal types in the meta, so you don't really need Stone Edge in my opinion. I would personally prefer Brave Bird. The Open Great League will be coming back in about 6 hours, and these battles are with my Discord community. And we actually have a special guest appearance in today's video. I want to say a big shout out to Jamie Finn. I pinged everybody in Discord and Jamie actually volunteered to hop in Discord, stream the battles for everybody in the Discord community, and help me get some gameplay with this Pokemon, so big thank you to Jamie. He's an amazing battler. He actually gets Legend with only Shadow Pokemon, which is kind of crazy. And he makes really fun videos over there, so I highly recommend checking him out. We had some really good battles, so if you want to see those, stay tuned to the end, and of course check out Jamie's channel as well. All that being said guys, let's hop into the video. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button, it's very much appreciated, thank you. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button quickly, it is absolutely free. And as you can see, I'm uploading a ton of fun videos, which you're not going to want to miss out on. So this matchup right here is absolutely crazy. Now the problem here is that they've got 2 shields, I've got 1, right? So I sort of decide, okay, I'm going to throw a move, at least try to get a shield off the opponent, and then come back in with my Lantern. So the opponent is far off all of their energy here, and I think this was actually going to get really close because my Lantern's pretty low health here, but I do have a ton of energy stored on it. Yeah, the opponent actually like walked away or something. As you can see, I'm just about at the back-to-back surfs. So I think I would have just about got both of these surfs off. These mud shots at this point would do a lot of damage. The opponent here said they walked like out of their Wi-Fi range or something. So hopping into this next one guys, we've got a really interesting lead. We have a Skarmory that's running Iron Wing, or Steel Wing, sorry. And the opponent swaps out to a Medicham, and we're just going to false end the Brave Bird. The opponent will probably shield up anything from Shadow Blaziken, so I could have just run the Blaze Kick, but we go for the knockout out of the shield, that's absolutely fine. And we can come into Altaria. Now the thing about this team that I liked was, basically you've got the Altaria safe swap, which beats Lanterns and beats all our Flyers. One of the biggest issues for Blaziken is Flyers, of course, and Lanterns itself, so like that covers 2 of those weaknesses. And of course we have Lantern, which can deal with Lanterns, and Flyers as well. So that's kind of what I'm trying to defend against. Things like Galarian Stunfisk, it can be a little bit tricky, because Rock Slides, even though they're just neutral, probably 1 plus a few mud shots would take you out. It's super classy. And back in comes the Skarmory right here. So yeah, that's kind of the thinking. We're trying to protect against Flyers anyway. Lantern can deal with Registeel to some degree, and it can, like, you know, get off surfs against Swampert, you know, depending on what the opponent wants to do. We build up here and I settle for the Blaze Kick, which I think would take it out here. As you can see, we're getting this thing super low, and at this point we do have 2 shields. Now, I'm going to shield up here a potential Earthquake. The opponent goes for the Hydro Cannon. I don't really need to call it, and, you know, at this point I might as well just shield this up as well. I knew that the opponent had built up a ton of energy, and we do see MP-tie, and we will be able to take out the Swampert here. I think they just have a low health Pokemon in the back. Yeah, it's just Skarmory in the back, which can Brave Bird or anything, and it won't be able to take us out. So definitely a very interesting one. So King and I, we went 2-1. I won 2, he won 1. He was definitely using like a few meme picks here, like the Skarmory with Steel Wing. Definitely a few meme picks, but GG's there. We're hopping into this next one, and this looks like a really positive matchup, but this thing knows superpower, and that would just absolutely wipe Blaziken off the face of the earth, never to be seen again. Literally just, it would just superpower him out of there for sure. In comes Fracture. Jai wanted to test out Fracture. Well, Jai, I'm sorry, but you're not going to get to test it out here. This thing knows Aqua Tail, which is quite interesting, and Jai did mention that he thought it might be a little bit bulkier than that after a couple of battles. That's the really good thing about our Discord community. Like, you can test these Pokemon out before you bring them into the Open Great League, and we do battles in there pretty much every day. Final Pokemon here is Ninetales. This should be a pretty straightforward match. We're just going to go for the harder hitting move off the rip here, knowing that we can just get off a lot of damage with the Lantern, and maybe just come in and farm down with Blaziken if need be. Definitely after letting that Brave Bird go, it was looking a little bit rough, and they do let the Sky Attack go there eventually as well. Now they built up just an absolute power plant of energy here, so we're going to come in with Lantern, eat the Dazzling Gleam, and just swap straight out and go for the farm down. As you can see, like those free counters we got through just absolutely ripped it to shreds, and 4 counters will be enough to take it out. So yeah, Shadow Blaziken, it's definitely an interesting one. You do have to like give it a lot of protection, but in the right circumstances, that thing can close games super well for you. So next matchup right here, we have Fracture in the lead, and as you guys are saying, like, it's actually doing a lot of damage to me as well, so I guess it's a bit of a glass cannon. In comes Ninetales, which is not really a great answer for Lantern. I think Lantern's just a little bit core breaking this team a little bit. We're going to go for another Surf here, and I think the opponent will be forced to shield up if they want to get off a move here. The opponent does let it go, and they actually will still get off the move. Ninetales, even with his Shadow, they do have a decent amount of bulk. I decide to shield up the Dazzling Gleam, knowing that there's no reason for them not to throw it, and they do throw a move here. At this point, I have absolutely no idea what is about to come through here. I go for a Surf of my own here, and I throw in bad timing there, unfortunately. I didn't throw one, but I wasn't really sure what the energy was, so I wanted to just throw it straight away. And in comes Noctowl. Guys, this is a Blaziken showcase, but if you can learn anything from this video, it's the power of Altaria in the Open Great League. You would think, like, okay, coming in Noctowl, like Noctowl versus Flyer, it should be okay. Look how much damage we're doing here. We make a nice call here, we call the Sky Attack, and the opponent will get off another move. Now, this could be the Shadow Ball, but at this point, I'm satisfied enough here. I can basically come in with Lantern and just go for a farm down. Even if we do get taken out, I'll be happy enough. I decided to go for a Surf here in the end, because they are just about to reach another Sky Attack, or Shadow Ball, which would take out. I snipe off the Blaziken. That one counter done so much damage. And we farm down the Fracture, and that's GG right there. Hopping into this next battle here, we'll see what Jai wants to run. We're going Blaziken, Ninetales. So I'm guessing this is something he was cooking up for the Open Great League. The opponent swaps straight out, and in comes Lantern. I stay in here for a minute and try to catch. I do catch a Surf, which is beautiful. I wanted to get a little bit of an energy head start on Blaziken because those sparks were not doing too much damage, and as you're about to see here, like, Lantern can't really do much against Altaria. They would need what, like, yeah, I guess another Thunderbolt would take out, so they can do something, but if I do commit shields in this matchup, we will win it for sure. I wanted to keep my own Lantern in the back, knowing that it would be good against Ninetales, and in comes an Umbreon, so this is an interesting one. I thought that they might go for the foul play off the rip here, so I decided just to throw this straight off. The opponent maybe are just going to farm all the way down. They do eventually throw here, not allowing me to get to another move. And at this point, we're just coming in with the boy here. We're coming in with Shadow Blaziken against this Umbreon, who is not going to want to see this. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, like, that was 4 counters right there. And from like 50%, we have it like deep into the yellow now. We catch what's likely a last resort here. Yep, which will do a decent little chip on the Lantern, but in comes Ninetales. And in the 2 shield, I pretty much could just commit to the farm down, but I do decide to start throwing here just to be on the safe side. The opponent knows it's only a Surf, but at this sort of stage, maybe they realize like it's going to be tough to win this no matter what. Since they shielded, I shielded, and they went for the Dazzling Gleam. So we're going to go ahead and throw off another Surf. We're up to the back-to-back here. I know that they have to fire off Dazzling Gleams to do any sort of damage here, and we're looking in a very dominant position here. I decide to come in and go for the farm down, and I can just shield this up basically. If they throw another move, that's absolutely fine. We can basically come in and farm down with Lantern. I fire for the Blaze Kick here anyway, we do reach the move in time. And I just checked this alone would do 70% to the Ninetales, which of course is not to be sniffed at. That would be quite a lot of damage to Ninetales. They would not appreciate that too much with like 7% health per counter as well. Now, we're playing some games against Han Solo here, and unfortunately Han Solo, he's just got my number here with this team. He's going for Shadow Swampert, or just normal Swampert here in the lead. So what we decide to do is shield up the first Hydro Cannon, fire for the Blaze Kick, the opponent does let it go, and they get to another one, so I do have to catch here, unfortunately. So in the 2 shield, like I said, you can farm down, but this is generally what I like to do against the Swampert lead. In comes an Alolan Ninetales, another very rough Pokemon. Well, actually, you just about do win with Blaziken with Ninetales, but it's not the most comfortable matchup. And at this point, we can come in with our Lantern, which is most likely our best option here. Lantern's got a lot of work to do because they still have a little bit of health on Swampert. Our Blaziken's looking very low, and they fire off the Dazzling Gleam straight away. They're about to fire off another move here, which is likely just a Weller Ball. It can only be a Weller Ball, and we're going to farm up a little bit extra here. I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt to try and guarantee the knockout here, and they do let it go. At this point, I'm expecting the Swampert to come in and try and farm down. And the opponent comes in with a Noctowl, so it's like, right, okay. So literally, like, I just got hard countered there, and I think I ran about 5 games with Han Solo. He did beat me it was either 4 or 5 games. He beat me 3 or 4-1, using like a lot of these sort of different meta Pokemon, like Noctowls and so on. He's trying to throw the match here, but Noctowl does come in and any move will take out here, obviously. So yeah, that's kind of a tough one, but I wanted to leave that in there because, you know, even though I was getting hard countered, it just kind of goes to show you, like, Blaziken can be fun, but you see the wrong Pokemon and yeah, it's looking rough. So I decided to swap out my lead here because I was just getting hard countered constantly. So I decided to swap into Lantern in the lead, and we get off one of these here, and I try to catch on the Altaria. Unfortunately, this will just be a Rock Slide, but Altaria can eat a Rock Slide okay, like it would take about 2 of those to take us out. In comes a Blastoise, so I'm like, right, this is interesting, we've got a Blastoise here. Haven't seen one of these in a while. Now, Blastoise can do Ice Beam, so I wasn't sure if this would be enough for an Ice Beam. I do decide just to let it go, and it is the Hydro Cannon. Can I get a farm down here, or can I get to another move? I do just about get to the move, and we'll see what they want to do here. They do actually shield it up, surprisingly, so at this point the obvious thing to do is come in with Lantern. We're going to Spark it down, and I don't think they can really know anything. I think it knows Skull Bash, but that definitely wasn't enough for a Skull Bash. At this point we're just going to hard swap into Blaziken. We've got a 2-to-1 shield advantage. If Stunfisk comes in, yeah, so look at the damage that done. Those 2 counters just chunked it like crazy. And in comes a Noctowl. So at this point I'm like, I just have to full send it here. I could have maybe like committed to 2 Blaze Kicks, and I suppose that's where Stone Edge is a little bit better, but I don't think I was getting to a lot of moves there anyway. So again, Lantern is doing overtime. We have to make a call here. It is just a Sky Attack. We're going to farm this thing up, and again we have to make a call. This could be either, yeah, it is a Sky Attack again. So we're making nice calls here, and I'm farming up to the Surf. I know the opponent's only a couple of wing attacks off, and I need to keep a Surf loaded for the Stunfisk. So at this point I shield up, and yeah, we're basically going to win CMP against the Stunfisk and take it out with a Surf. So GG's to Han Solo. He beat me like I said 3 or 4-1 there. And I just wanted to show you, like, if you do start seeing like Noctowls in particular, like with Blaziken, it's just going to be very, very rough for you. Now, ladies and gents, we're hopping into the featured battles here versus none other than Mr. Jimmy Finn. He comes in with a Shadow Swampert on the lead, so we're basically going to use the same sort of strategy as last time. I'm going to let him throw off a Hydro Cannon here, and once he reaches 9, I'm going to basically swap out. I'm not sure if I throw this time or not. Yeah, so I decided just to go straight for the swap out. So I could have shielded there and just countered down, but I do want to keep a shield for later on. He comes in with a Shadow Drapion. I was half expecting a Shadow Drapion, because I know that it is one of Jimmy's favourite Pokemon here. They go for the Crunch, which I didn't think would do that much damage, but as you can see it does. They were just about to reach another Crunch, so I fire off the Sky Attack just in time, and as you can see they're at the Crunch here. At this point I can basically let this go, and I might even come in and farm down with Lantern. We'll see what happens here. I could potentially come in with Blaziken, but this will get it very low, and Shadow versus Shadow with Blaziken is just so rough. They come in with a Muck here and a Alolan Muck, so at this point they're up 2-to-1 shields. Getting a little bit of lag here. I'm in Japan and Jimmy's in EU. I did not expect that to do so much damage, and they actually catch the Surf here. So I decided to fully undercharge it and try to get a little bit of farm down with my what do you call it? They come in with Muck, and I basically decide to shield this because I've got a ton of energy. It's an Acid Spray, and yeah, I basically try to commit to the farm down here, knowing that throwing a move would not really benefit me. I was a little bit scared here because like this thing just hits like a truck, and yeah, GG's to Jimmy there. We do manage to take the first match, and if you do happen to run this team, that's pretty much what I would recommend doing with Swampert. So GG's there, and let's hop into the next one. Alright, so this is going to be interesting. I had no idea what was going to come in here. It is a Ninetales, which is, like I said, Shadow Ninetales. It's technically a win for Blaziken. They swap into Sableye, and what I decide to do here is go for a Blaze Kick and dip. I maybe could just swap straight into Altaria. I think that would be slightly better, but we do get a shield off the opponent. Jimmy's firing off a move here, but I know this could be a Power Gem. From my experience of running Sableye that's not purified, you know, I do go for these Power Gems myself in Altaria, and they do a crazy amount of damage with normal Sableye. And we wait until they're almost at the Fell Play again and fire off the move, and most likely they're going to come in with Ninetales and basically farm the whole way down. Ninetales just absolutely tears through Altaria. We can chip it on the way out, and as you can see, this will bring it down deep into the yellow. But Ninetales is going to come out with a ton of energy, and what I decide to do here is a bit of a funny play. I jump into Blaziken and then swap out, thinking that they would fire off the move straight away. Well, hoping, I should have known better. I was hoping they'd fire off the move, but in comes a Venusaur against my Lantern, which you absolutely hate to see. Shadow Venusaur just does a lot of damage, even against Pokemon that are not Lantern. So at this stage I sort of have to let it go, and try to go for a counter down. They farmed up to the back-to-back, and we're basically forced to shield anything. They do go straight for the Sludge Bomb. I think Frenzy Plant might even take out from 50% health. Blaziken is that glassy. GG's, Jimmy takes the second game here. I couldn't get the farm down, and even if I did, I wasn't going to be able to farm down the Ninetales either, so these battles were super fun because Jimmy only uses Shadow Pokemon, so I'm like, what am I going to see here? You know what I mean? In comes a Poliwrath. I'm like, I haven't seen this boy in a minute. So they know Mudshot, so I do swap straight out. And in comes Drifblim, which is a brand new Shadow that just got released recently. Now this does no Shadow Ball and Icy Wind, and I respect the Icy Wind because I know it would do a lot of damage. I farm up to almost the Dazzling Gleam. I'm just sort of hoping that he wasn't counting there, but I wonder if that would have close to taken out anyway. I think at this point I do let this go, and it just about doesn't take me out. So maybe even if I had like slightly better IVs, I might have might have even lived that. We're going to come in with Lantern and just farm this the whole way down. I tried to go for a catch there, and unfortunately in comes the Poliwrath. I'm going to go for the bait here, because of course the Brave Bird would wipe out, and they do call it, which is an amazing call there. They're going to go for probably, what, an Ice Punch here? It's actually a Scald. So I was thinking it would be an Ice Punch, it turns out it's a Scald. Poliwrath has a really interesting moveset, so I might have considered shielding that had I remembered about Scald, to be honest. But in comes Alolan Marowak, so I'm right, okay, I actually have a chance here. A Lantern pretty much walls this thing. I let the first one go. We're just going to go straight for the second one here as well, just to put pressure on the final shield. And I know that I can survive pretty much one move from this thing, so I'm happy enough to let this go at this point. Try to shave the shield if possible. Now I'm anticipating a catch here, and they do try to go for a catch. So, good thing I didn't farm my energy there. I think I probably could have undercharged it and farmed down anyway. But we do have a Surf loaded, and that's going to be GG right there. I've noticed in these matches, you know, against Jamie and all our members of the community here, Lantern just puts in so much work, and it usually ends up closing for me. If you wanted to try a team like this, you could probably do it with like Medicham or Machamp or something like a little bit safer in the lead. But generally, like Altaria will draw out some sort of a steel type, and that'll obviously allow your Medicham, or in this case Blaziken, to take care of those. And usually what will come in to take care of Blaziken will be countered by Lantern, so it works out pretty nicely here. Now, the opponent only got to a Body Slam, but I don't want to eat anything on Blaziken. Like, you cannot, folks, you cannot eat moves. And their counters were doing just as much as mine. Shadow Dunfan actually does a decent amount of damage there as well by the looks of things. In comes Sableye, and we are actually forced to shield there. I think, did I reach the Sky Attack just before? I think I did, and I decided to farm up just before the foul play again. So the opponent is shielded up there, and I think we're just going to let this go at this point. So they're basically on no energy, and hopefully at this point we can come in and farm down with Lantern without eating a move. If possible, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I was maybe like 2 sparks all farming them down. I decided to respect this because I feel like Lantern is going to be necessary to win this match. I don't want to eat any unnecessary damage on it if possible. We go straight for the Surf here. Not even, I honestly literally just blind through this. And we're going to go for another one straight away. So Beedrill, it's an interesting one, no Drill Run, and they will be forced to shield this. The opponent predicts the combo play, and we decide to go for a full undercharge here. We're going to counter this down. Hopefully, I think that was like one off a Body Slam there too. Of course, they're going to take out with the X-Scissor here. Knowing that I went for the undercharge, and they actually go for an undercharge of their own, so Jamie was just keeping really good track of energy there. They do reach a move first, and you know, if this is a Drill Run we lose. It is the X-Scissor though, and we do manage to get off the Surf. Another really fun game, and for me, like, I really enjoy playing players like Jamie, who, like I said, hit Legend a ton of times. He's an amazing player, only uses Shadow Pokemon. He's the type of player whenever I play, I can sort of learn things from, and definitely, like, I'm able to sort of see my mistakes in a more glaring fashion whenever you get hard punished for your mistakes. So it was definitely a lot of fun, and it is definitely nice to be able to somewhat compete in these matches. I was expecting to kind of get absolutely destroyed, but so far it was kind of even. But like I said, you know, Jamie knew that I was going to be running this team every match after the first game, so fair play to him. He didn't just like try to hard counter me. He was trying to basically use a different team every time. So at this point, I've opened up PV Poke, and I'm like, right, what Shadow Pokemon are there? In comes Steelix. So again, I think that might be positive, and in comes Dragonite. I'm like, what do I even do against this thing? Do I come in with Altaria? I'm thinking that probably is a lot better. I decided to shield up the Dragon Claw, but I just know that I'm about to get absolutely farmed down. So that's why I was like a little bit reluctant to shield that, because they'll come in with Dragon Tail, which will absolutely wreck my Altaria. Instead of throwing the Dazzling Gleam, I think I might just be able to get to 2 Sky Attacks, so that's what I decided to do here. Can we just about reach it? Any chip is valuable on this thing, because it's got a ton of energy now. It knows Psychic Fangs, Crunch, I believe. It can know Earthquake. This thing has just a Swiss Army knife of moves that I can use. So I come in with Lantern here. Again, like, you just have to give Blaziken so much protection. They go for Psychic Fangs, which would not be appreciated by Blaziken. And this is most likely going to be a Crunch or something harder hitting. It is a Crunch, so I do correctly shield it up. Unfortunately though, we're 2-1 shields, or 2-0 shields down. And, you know, this is going to be hard to win at any rate. In comes the Shadow Dragonair. At this point, this game's basically over. This thing is just a farm down machine. I do try to swap out, but unfortunately the timer is off, and yeah, they're going to be able to get off Body Slam and Dragon Breaths to take out there. So that was definitely a little bit of a tougher one. Definitely with Blaziken, if you've got fast move pressure Pokemon, like, good luck. Like, if somebody's using like a Bastiodon even though you can do super effectives with the counters, like, just good luck. Or if you get it lined up against, like, you know, a Shadow Dragonair, Dragonite, Altaria, that really just showcases the weakness of Blaziken, and that's probably why you shouldn't run it unless you're just running it for fun. I'm not sure if I've showcased all the battles here, but we're currently free all, and we're going to do this out of a best of 7. So this is the decider, and we get a mirror match in the lead. So I've got 2 better answers in the back. I'm going to swap straight out, and yeah, this is just doing so much damage. They farm up, and at this point we're just going to go straight for the Dazzling Gleam, which is just going to absolutely wreck this thing if he lets it go. He does let it go, and you know, that is a great way to throw the match there, unfortunately. Lantern comes in, and I do just go for the sky attack here, knowing that I can come in with my own Lantern. I just need to chip this down, farm it down with my own Lantern, and we're absolutely chilling. They do overfarm as much as possible there, and fire off likely a Surf, okay, which does just about take out. So we come in with our own Lantern here, and all we need to do is just go for a Thunderbolt, and this thing will absolutely wreck Blaziken. We can absolutely let this first one go, and we decide to swap into Blaziken here just to go for the aggro farm down. And at this point I'm like, you know what, Jamie, I want to throw this match. I'm going to let this go instead of going for the counter down. And I put this all on Lantern, and I start throwing Surfs. This is just cringeworthy. Like, at the very least, if you're going to do that, like, at least go for the it's so hard to watch. We end up getting the Simul KO, and they had a Pokemon in the back. That was just brutal. That was absolutely brutal. Good games to Jamie. He beat me 3-4 there, and it was a ton of fun playing. Guys, that's Shadow Blaziken in the Great League. It's a lot of fun. It is a glass cannon. You can absolutely destroy different Pokemon with it in certain scenarios. But of course, it's not going to be like an elo gaining Pokemon. It's more for just having a good time and going for hard hitting moves. If you enjoyed today's video, drop a like. If you want to be featured in one of these videos in the future, join the Discord. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It is absolutely free. Thank you everybody who done the battles with me today. Sorry if I didn't showcase your battles, but we do have quite a lot of footage here. And most of all, thank you to Jamie for doing all that stuff today for the community. Very much appreciated. And I highly recommend checking out his channel, which will be in the description down below. Thank you everybody, and have a fantastic rest of your day.